In this lesson, or this part of the lesson, we're going to look at adding text to your scene. This is slightly more complex than adding images, so we're just going to take you through this part of this lesson. So let's get on with this. So in the last lesson then we went ahead and we created all of our scenes and we put all the stuff into it. So let's just open up a few of these. I've got my home one open, so let's open up my houses one, and then let's open up my holidays, and then finally let's open up the cars one. There it is. Okay, fantastic. So as you can see, I've gone through and I've just put all the images in, and we deliberately left the main text out. So you may think actually this is text here, but this is an image, and the reason this is an image and not text is because if you want to do really complex text, it's probably better just to do it in PowerPoint and then export as an image. So I've got this kind of outline for each of the letters, and it would have been really complex to achieve that same result in Godot. So how we're going to do this, on the homes page or the houses page, I've got a title for each of these and I've got some descriptive text for each one of these. You might have text on all different pages, so you can do yours how you need to. So let me just delete some of these tests that I did before. So let me get rid of this one. So delete that node and then delete that node, and I'll start from scratch. So I was just trying some stuff out. Now the first thing you need to do is know that Godot doesn't handle native text, so you have to download the fonts you want, and the reason it does this is so that you have consistency across platforms. So how I do this is I tend to go off to the internet and type in text files and then just download them. First you need to create a folder, so let's go into our app, so Rich and Famous app, and let's come over to here and let's just right click and say new and then folder, and let's just call it fonts. Okay, and the reason we've done this is because we could have loads and loads of fonts. When we come back to Godot, you'll notice that the fonts folder is there, and that's great, and we're ready to carry on. So let's go over to the internet. There are loads of these font sites around. Some are really good. The one that I like is this Dafontcom, and it's got absolutely thousands, and it's open in my school, so it makes it a little bit easier to work with. So this is how I do it. So scroll through until you find something you want. So say for instance you want black pen, which looks really great. You want to see what it looks like first. So if you click on this, and then you can type some text in here. So you can just say something like hello, and I've used that before, look. And then you can press submit, and it will tell you exactly what it's going to look like, which is great. And it shows you what all the characters are like. Fantastic. Now most of the fonts on this site are Creative Commons free, so you can use them on personal projects. If you're going to use this for public projects for commercial reasons, you do have to check the licenses, because there probably will be something you have to pay for. So just be very aware of that. If it's a personal project, it's normally free to use. So if we click the download button, it will start downloading it. Now on this particular platform, which is Google Chrome, it just does it down this bar here. But all of your fonts will go to your downloads folder. So if you don't see it down the bottom here, you can go and grab them from your downloads folder. Now what we need to do then is place all the fonts that we download into our fonts folder. So here's our fonts folder, and I can just click and drag, and once again you can do the same if it's in your downloads folder. Just click on the downloads folder and copy it to this folder here. Now Godot can't handle zip files, and that's what these are. They're zip files. So you do have to extract it. So by default, once you download it and you select it, it takes you to this extract, and you can just say extract all and then press the extract button. Once you've done that, it will create a new one. We can close this. It will create a new one, and you can get rid of the one with the zip down the middle because we no longer need that. Now if you look inside of it, you'll see that all of your fonts there, and the one we're looking for is this TTF file, so true type font, and that's the one that Godot can use, so TTF. Now I went ahead of time and I downloaded a bunch of fonts that I want to use for this project, so let's just copy them in. So I've got these ones here. Roboto is really good if you want a good font. So let's just copy them, let's go back to our app, and then let's just paste them into the fonts folder so they're all ready to go. So paste them in there. So if you want to do that now, you can pause the video and go off and do that now. Now I'm going to head on over to Godot, and I'm going to check my fonts folder and notice that all of the fonts that I want to use are there and they are ready to go. Now, some of my students have expressed wanting a scroll bar, and that's easily achievable in Godot, and Godot does that automatically for you. So if you do want loads and loads of text, Godot will take care of that for you, not a problem at all. So here we are on the houses page. If we just click on this houses button, and let's go and find the node that we need. So press on this plus button, and the node that we want is some kind of label. So we can just type in label, and you have two kinds of labels. You have a standard label and you have this rich text label. The one that we want is this rich text label because it allows us to do so much more. So double click on this and then it will set it up for us. It set it up at the bottom, which is absolutely fantastic, unless it was over this bar, which we'd have to raise it above. But for this, it's absolutely fine. I'm going to rename this as title 1. And then we're going to start editing. So all the properties for these nodes are down the bottom. So they're here. So the first property that we need to look at is this text one. And they give you the smallest box to work from, which is really, really annoying. So you're better off copying and pasting your work. So if you go back to PowerPoint, and the first one we want is this, the popular choice. So Control C to copy that, and then paste it in there. Control V to paste, and then press Enter. And it will be there. Look, it's populated itself over there. So we click and we drag and we put it into the place that we want it. And then let's make this a bit bigger. Now, if you look at this, if I make it smaller, you'll notice that there's a scroll bar here. So Godot takes care of that. If you've got loads and loads of text, but you want it to fit in this region, Godot will supply you with the scroll bar you need. If you don't need the scroll bar, you can turn it off on this one here. So just press that and it will turn the scroll bar off. If you want it, you can turn it on. So for the title, I definitely do not want a scroll bar, so I'm going to turn it off. And that's pretty much everything we need to do here. The next bit we need to do is scroll right down to where it says custom fonts, this one here. And the custom font that we want to do is this normal font. So if we click and then go dynamic font, so we want new dynamic font. And once we do that, you'll notice that our text disappears. It's because the standard setting is 0, which is quite annoying, but never mind. So we've got it set to dynamic font. Now we need to edit it. So click it again and press edit. And then this takes us into all the settings for this font. So the first one we want to do is include the font. So toggle this down, and where it says null, that's where we're going to put the font. So the first one I want is this Roboto, and I want it to be the light one, which is down here somewhere. And Roboto comes with loads of different fonts. All these TTF files, they're all different. So you've got bold, you've got italic, you've got light, medium. You try them all out, it's absolutely fine. So click, drag, and drop it onto that null bit. And then it'll still be 0 because we need to make it bigger. So let's, after going to the font, let's go into settings. And let's just change it from 0 to something like 24. 24 should give us the size we need. However, it does do something very weird at this point, and we just need to make this box a bit bigger, and then it does what it's meant to do. The next thing we need to do then is set up the color, because this is not the right color. It's a dark gray that I want. So we can press this back button, and this takes us back to the main menu for this node. And the one we want now is custom color. So underneath custom fonts, we have custom colors. And we're just going to use the default, so we're going to turn it on. And now notice it's gone this dark black. And then we're going to change that to just a dark grey, which is about there. Not much difference, but that's the one I want. Let's save our scene, or save all scenes. Now let's test it. So if I press the play button, that will take me back to the home page, which is no good. So we have this other button here, which is play current scene. Okay, so press this button and we should get what our app actually looks like. And there you go. That looks very, very nice. It's kind of showing you that our app is being built. So I'll run through that process again, but if you guys want to stop now, that's pretty much everything you need to know. And all you're going to do is place all of the text objects into your screen, and that's it basically. If you need another reinforcement, I'm just going to whiz through now and just do my second bit of text here, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do then is just add another text node, and I'm going to add another rich label. Remember, it's down in this rich text label here, and I'm going to, it's nested itself. I do not want it to nest itself, so let's just unnest it. There we go, and let's make sure it goes underneath that one, and I'm going to call this description 1. Okay, and that's great. So once we've got the description, we now need to add the text again. So if we just unselect that and select it again, just make sure it's got the right one, and we're going to add the text here. So we're going to go over to PowerPoint, and we're going to grab this highlights text, which is our long bit, and press Control C to copy. And then inside this tiny text box, we're going to press Control V and then press Enter. So what it's done is it's placed it over here, which is absolutely fine. We can just move it down and we can stretch the box out until we get it the way we want it. And then we're going to place another font in here. So let's scroll down to the font section here, so custom fonts. And it's this one here at the bottom, normal fonts. So if we click here and then go new dynamic font, and then click on the arrow again and say edit. So from the edit, we want to change the font, font data. So the one we're going to try this time, we want to keep it light still. So we can either go italic or we can just do the same one again. I'm going to use this one here, just the nice light one, and we're just going to change the size and probably change the color as well. So it's set to 0. So let's change this to 16 and then press enter. And then we have it. So if it doesn't kind of do what it's meant to do, you can just knock it around a little bit until you get what you want. So 16 is probably too small. Let's try 20, see what happens there. And just knock it around, because you can see it's overlapping. That's not what we want. And there we go. 20 is okay. We could probably make it a bit bigger, but I'm going to leave it like that. So let's press the back button and let's go and change the color. So underneath custom fonts, you've got these custom colors. Tick it. And then let's change the color, and we could go as adventurous as you want. I'm just going to do it slightly lighter than the last one, about there somewhere. And then we're going to save our scene, and then we're going to test it by pressing this play button. And once we see it's okay, we can finish. So there we are. That's pretty much the extent of how to import fonts. So get all your fonts, get all your text in, and I'll see you in the next lesson.